Hello, all. I want to discuss one of the posting regarding bonds, and you may be wondering why the people buy bonds and they don't buy stocks, or why some people buy both stocks and bonds, and what is the difference? What are the benefits? What are the advantages of investing in bonds, not in stocks? And when would be a good idea to invest in bonds? Here, let's talk about this specific bond. Means 10 years ago, Toyota Motor needed some money. It went to the people, it went to the market in 2019 and told the people that, okay, give us, for example, $100. If you give us $100, we are going to give you for the next 10 years for this $100 that you are giving us, we are going to give you 2.76% of interest rates. It pays this fixed interest semi-annually, which means every 6 months. And then now it is, as you all know, 2024. In 2024, let's say that if you decide to sell that bond that you have bought, they will pay you only $93. Here, your first thought is that, oh, you lost some money because you bought it at $100, but now you have to sell it at $93. However, one thing you have to know is that in the past 5 years, from 2019 to 2024, you have been getting the interest of 2.76%. You have that is in your pocket. It's okay that it has dropped now, and you are wondering why it is dropped. Now, one option you have is you might say you want to sell the stocks. You will go, your bond, you will go and sell it for $93. But you have another option to keep it until it matures in 2029, which is 5 years from now. When it is 5 years from now, Toyota Motor is gonna to give you your $100 back, which means this $93 most likely next year will be 94, a year after 95, a year after 96. Therefore, the closer you come to the maturity date, the closer you come to the original money that you paid for the bond, which was $100. Therefore, if you don't want to sell it cheap now at $93, hold on to your bond. Wait until 5 years, you will get your $100 back, plus you will be making this 2.76% interest. Therefore, what that is, it says, therefore, that's where the name yield to maturity, which means if someone buys this bond today from you, this person will have two types of income. What is the income? This person will get 2.76% as interest rates. Also, this one will go up to 100 in the next 5 years when it matures, when the Toyota writes you a check. Therefore, take this one into account, and this money that you bought this bond from someone else, and this is going to give you extra money, because you will be getting around $7 extra from what you are buying in 2019 to 2029. Therefore, that is called yield to maturity. Yield to maturity is giving you two benefits. One is this interest, and one is when this matures will give you 100. If you put these two together, that means you are making 4.4%. You have the option of holding on to this bond or selling it to someone. That someone will have this yield, this benefit until it matures. If you don't want to sell it, you hold on to it, and it will give you this 4.4%. Where does it come from? Is that you won't be selling it cheap now at 93, because you are going to wait until it matures and you get your money back, plus you get your interest. Therefore, and also it is low to moderate risk. One question you might have is that why the price of the bond dropped. It's a very important concept. The reason that the price of the bond dropped is because from 2019 until now, which is 2024, the interest rates went up. When the interest rates go up, the people don't care about this 2.76% interest. If you can buy, let's say, a CD, and the CD gives you 5%, you come and say, oh, why should I go and put my 2.5? Why should I go and buy this bond from anyone? I don't want 2.6. Therefore, you say you can put your money in the bank and get 5%. When you do that, that means the people have less interest in your bond. They don't pay you $100. To entice them, to encourage them to buy your bond, you drop the price of the bond drops to 93.85. When it drops to this point, therefore the person will have a second thought and say, why should, for example, I put my money in the bank and get 4%? Of course, 4% is better than this one. But because you are selling your bond a kind of cheaper than $100, that means that person is having a benefit of 4.4%. Therefore, this person says, oh, no, he's not, or she's not going to put it in the bank. He's going to come and buy your bond for $93. Therefore, you see the impact of why the interest rates would have an impact on the price of the bond. Now, if the interest rates drop down to 1%, then your bond from $100 goes to $105, means it sells at premium. And then the people who are getting interest from the bank at 1%, they come and see, oh, your bond is giving them 2.46%. They come to you and say, could you sell your bond to us? Because if we put our money in the bank, it gives us 1%. You say, guess what? I'm not going to sell it for 100 because it's a good interest rate now. And you ask for more than 100, you ask for a premium, which means $105. Then when you ask for it, the person buys it from you. And then, therefore, that's the way it goes. And it says, one student says, historically, the bonds yield has risen to a broader market. Yeah, that's correct. We talked about it. And another student has said the current performance bond is trading below par value. Because do you remember we said $100, which means below par value, means a par value usually it is an increment of 1,000. But here we talked about 100. Because it was 100, now you can buy it for $93. Okay, therefore, this is the yield to maturity, 4.25%. It's a good deal. You want to go and find the void. Why do you want to put your money in the bank and get 1% interest? Why don't you go and buy this bond for $93, get 2.7% interest, and then, when it matures you $93 into 2029, the Toyota company will send you a check for $100, And I want students to say it is interesting to see how the bond would work today. I wonder how the bond performance aligns with the market movement. This is a good question because it goes up based on how the interest rates go up and down. If they go up interest rates, the people will be less interested to buy your bond. It's a good idea to hold on to it until it matures, you get your $100 back. Okay, another student said, good post. I thought it was interesting that it would only be worth 95.41. It's based on $1,000. Your $1,000 becomes, 925. You will wait until 2029 and you get $1,000. And another student says, oh, wow, investing $1,000 in a Toyota bond 5 years ago, then it will be worth less. You are right, it's worth less. But you don't need to sell it. Hold on to it and you get your money back. I did Disney bond and getting 100 back, $185 a little, means in 5 years, if you get 100, it depends on how much, you put in bond. But these are good questions, good discussions. We want you to learn about the bond. And one thing you want to know is that usually, it's not always, but usually, when the stocks go up, sometimes usually the bonds drop. When the stocks go down, bonds go up. Therefore, sometimes, in professional investors try to buy bonds as well in case if the stock market goes down, they are hoping that these bonds are more stable than the stocks. They don't fluctuate as much to go up and down. Therefore, they give some stability, particularly the people who are retired, elderlies, sometimes they prefer bond because it's very clear. You all know when you look at here, you know that you already have this interest coming to you. Therefore, when you have I don't know 100,000, you go and buy this bond. Why not? It gives you 2.76%, means that 2,760. Then in your $1,000, now you can buy it for 930, knowing that 5 years from now, instead of 930, it's going to be $1,000. You make $70 there, and you are making 2.76% here. Therefore, why not? Why do you want to put your money in the bank? And even some people say, why should you put it in the stocks? You don't know what's going to happen to stocks. One day they go significantly up. One day they go significantly down. They might not give an interest. They might not even be giving any dividend. If I am an elderly, I rely on my income for, to buy food, medicine, or whatever. I want to have an income. Therefore, this gives me an income that I need. And what is the much, which means I am making on my 100,000, 4.4%, means 100,000, 4.4% means $4,444 a year. That is about 400, 360 a month, which is not bad, which is secure. The only risk to me is that if Toyota goes bankrupt, which I doubt whether it would go, easily bankrupted, it will go bankrupt. Therefore, I will hold on to this bond. Therefore, don't think the bonds are necessarily bad. They play major role. We have government bonds, federal government bonds. Those are treasury bonds, which are the safest. And the reason that the treasury bonds are so safe is because they are backed by the federal government. They are different than Toyota Motor. We know that the possibility of federal government go bankrupt, it is almost zero. Why it is like that? It's because the federal government anytime runs out of money, guess what? Increases the taxes. It has income, just like companies, it has income. It's income, mainly, taxes that it gets from the people. Therefore, anytime it feels distressed, it increases the taxes. That's why it will be able to come with the, coupon payment. But one thing about the coupon payment is that because the federal government is so secure and safe, sometimes it pays less coupon payment than corporations. Corporations carry low to moderate risk, suppose in case of Toyota. Therefore, we want you to have the concept of bonds and not to be scared about buying bonds. Particularly, it is good for the students who don't like stocks.